Daniel can win this fight. It's not about his ability. He's got the ability. He's got the power. He's got the boxing ability. He's got a fabulous jab. We know he can punch with both hands. It's this. And if he focuses and does what he's done his last few fights, and certainly the fight he had against AJ, he can do it. If he catches him, he'll go.
Olkesandr Usyk's career so far, it's been meteoric rise, hasn't it? Yeah, I think he's one of the best fighters in the world, probably on the pound-for-pound list. You know, it's funny because he and Lomachenko have a similar dynamic in this. They're more of these modern of Eastern Europeans. They have the great fundamentals that Eastern Europeans always bring, but they also have this fluidity to them. They're almost like a new age, evolved Eastern European fighters, so you don't get worse, they only get better.
Frank Warren has recently had his say about the eagerly awaited Usyk versus Dubois rematch and made his mind up. The man is backing Dubois. In Warren's view, Dubois now has the physical and psychological tools to pose real trouble for Olkesandr Usyk. He noted that this is not the same young boxer who stepped into the ring the first time. With improved technique, more confidence in himself, and a significantly better camp behind him, Warren feels Dubois is an extremely different and significantly more dangerous test for the Ukrainian champion.
Daniel can win this fight. It's not about his ability. He's got the ability. He's got the power. He's got the boxing ability. He's got a fabulous jab. We know he can punch with both hands. It's this. And if he focuses and does what he's done his last few fights, and certainly the fight he had against AJ, he can do it. If he catches him, he'll go.
David Haye has also come out publicly in favor of that opinion, indicating his faith in Dubois' development and possibility. The former cruiserweight and heavyweight world champion observed that Dubois now knows what it takes at the top level. Haye pointed out that Dubois' timing, poise, and fitness have improved by leaps and bounds. Though he admires Usyk's record and talent, Haye feels that Dubois possesses the kind of raw power and aura that, if directed properly, has the potential to punch holes in Usyk's normally impenetrable defense and turn the tide of the fight.
He's got all the attributes, and he was able to implement them on AJ and show how good he was. If he comes to the fight with that mindset, just like Chisora did when he fought Usyk, you know, showed him respect, but when it came to closing the range down and bringing the heat, Derek had the best fight against Usyk that anyone's had. It's because he closed the range and worked inside. If Dubois can really impose himself and don't get involved in a boxing match.
Teddy Atlas also joined the debate with a similarly measured tone about Usyk's place in this rematch. The experienced trainer and analyst opines that Usyk must be very vigilant this time. Atlas remarked that a wiser, focused Dubois may be a serious threat if he takes the right opportunities. He cautioned that unless Usyk underrates this developed version of Dubois or does not adapt in time, the Ukrainian can be in a much more perilous position than he was during their initial encounter.
Chance to catch him and get rid of him early on. If he doesn't, if Dubois either slips those punches, which you would hope he does, but I don't know if he's learned that. I don't know if he really improved that, or gets through those punches and starts to impose himself, well then it switches.
In continuing his analysis, Atlas placed another layer of alarm by referencing something even more pitiless than Dubois, Father Time. He ventured that Usyk might be not only fighting a better prepared competitor, but also against the natural loss of vigor that accompanies age and constant physical pressure. Atlas declared that signs of deterioration, no matter how slight, can be the dividing line between avoiding a punch and getting hit. He suggested that while Usyk is still among the elite, time does not stop for anyone, and that might be Dubois' window.
Somebody just sent me a text that who's out there to beat him? I said, Father Time, guy named Father Time, you know, that old saying, he's undefeated. He's out there. Look, it would be very interesting with Dubois because Dubois is a different guy now. Dubois is, and he's young. And you can get served, as they say. So Dubois is a different guy than he was when he fought when he fought Usyk the first time. He's redeemed himself. He's found himself. You know, he's a more confident fighter, a more together fighter. But Usyk can do whatever he wants.
Dom Charles, a well-known personality within Dubois' entourage, offered a glimpse into the preparations of the fighter. Charles offered heartfelt praise for Dubois' recent improvements, citing his consistency, maturity, and attitude while working out. By Charles's account, Dubois approached this camp more seriously than ever, regarding it as the largest opportunity in his career. He thinks Dubois is better now, smarter, and more disciplined, and that gains will be evident come fight night. This isn't hype for Charles, it's the tangible outcome of non-stop behind-the-scenes effort.
This man of the future is the future of boxing, heavyweight boxing. And yeah, what can I say? I can't elaborate enough. I'm very happy, we're very happy. We happen to be sitting on a log of wood, touch wood. Everything's going according to plan. Look, we're experienced now. The first encounter with Usyk in Poland was almost 2 years ago. We're like 5 weeks away from it being 24 months since I started working with Daniel Dubois. You know, so a lot has changed, So very, very excited.
Charles also went out of his way to compliment Usyk's amazing record and accomplishments, but he underlined a realistic fact. At the end of the day, Usyk is human. It was not disrespect, it was the insistence that any great fighter can be hurt, pressured, and beaten if the right conditions are applied. Charles is of the opinion that Dubois' camp is not pursuing a miracle. They are implementing a plan based on pragmatism. With keen preparation and mindset, he opines that they can reveal vulnerabilities and make this rematch a statement victory.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's extraordinary. He's a magician. He's the guy is he's an incredible person, incredible boxer, bag of tricks. And yeah, we're gonna have to go some. Like I said earlier on in previous interviews, I'm gonna have to devise a game plan, mother of all game plans, to be able to overcome what this guy does. He's unbeaten as a cruiserweight, undisputed, unbeaten currently. He is since Sir Lennox Lewis. He's the undisputed champion for the last 26, 27 years. And so, yeah, this guy's, he's special, he's extraordinary.
Also sharing his backing for Dubois' prospects for the rematch was veteran boxing correspondent Gareth A. Davies. Davies mentioned that Dubois is grossly underestimated on the back of their first fight, and that the audience should not downplay how much of a transformation a fighter is capable of within such a period. He emphasized that Dubois now has not just physical power, but greater insight into ring control tactics. Davies cited his conditioning, mentality, and pressure-oriented approach as factors that can really disrupt Usyk's accustomed rhythm.
I think Usyk will maybe have difficulties for the first 5 rounds against Daniel Dubois, and I think he'll come hard in those early rounds. It's no secret that he's going to go hard. He's going to put Usyk under pressure.
Yeah.
Daniel is capable of becoming the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, who will be crowned on July the 19th. Obviously, Daniel brings the IBF. Olkesandr held all of them when he beat Fury twice anyway. But obviously one of them was ripped off him. He relinquished it, and then it went to Daniel. The unified WBC, WBO, and WBA world champion Usyk and IBF world champion Daniel Dubois fight for all the belts.
Ring magazine, is that on the line?
Yeah, I think the ring
so
magazine
all the marbles, right?
All the marbles.
Contributing to the mounting discussion, Dubois' team published video from a recent intense track session. The video was an immediate hit on the internet, demonstrating Dubois traveling with devastating speed and endurance even some cynics were not prepared to see. Fans were immediately wondering if this iteration of Dubois could possibly pose actual issues for Usyk. The video wasn't promotional hype, it revealed athleticism and dedication. For others, it was the initial indication that Dubois possibly stepped over the line physically and mentally before the most significant test of his career. Crawling off the momentum and popularity, Dubois recently sat down for an interview wherein he confidently declared that he's ready to shock the world. According to him, the fight is more than a rematch. It's an opportunity to silence his critics and justify all that he has worked for. His tone was measured but firm, signaling a fighter who's not just hopeful but certain. Dubois spoke with conviction, emphasizing that this time there will be no hesitation, just pressure, purpose, and execution from the opening bell.
Pressure.
Yeah, there's always fire in me. I'm always fired up for every fight I fight. So if it was, no matter who I face, with the odds on the line, I'm gonna be extra fired up to win this one and come away with a victory and, you know, just just upset the plans again, like we did with AJ fight. Just what shocked the world.
Dubois went on to say that he's ready for a good fight, indicating not just his desire to win, but to engage at a high level. He expressed the attitude of a fighter who wishes to challenge himself and leave no question. He recognized Usyk's abilities, but emphasized that respect will not prevent him from walking in with maximum effort. For Dubois, it isn't about surviving rounds, it's about controlling moments and making them matter. His words aligned with his training, intentional, purposeful, and focused.
How do you see him as a fighter?
I see him as a top guy, isn't it? He's got to be at one of the best in the world, ranked, you know, globally. But now I think it's my time. I'm in the young lion here, and I've got to prove that I'm a new force, a real force in the division, and I'm going to take over.
And just finally, as we said, Daniel, a month to go. You're enjoying yourself today, but what happens from here on in?
What happens from here on? Prepare, and then win. Fight. Destruction, yeah.
Although Dubois has gained significant momentum, Olkesandr Usyk is no short of support himself. High-profile commentator Adam Smith had his say, saying that Usyk is just too clever for the majority of heavyweights, including Dubois. Smith pointed to Usyk's boxing intelligence, his versatility, and his top-level experience as strengths that might still be too much. As Smith puts it, even a better Dubois will require something remarkable to surpass a fighter as smart, level-headed, and technically polished as the current unified champion.
I think Olkesandr Usyk is the best fighter in the world, and I've been in training camp. I've seen him up close. I've seen what he goes through. Before the Fury fight, I thought he would probably have the better of Tyson in that second fight, and I think the rounds as they ticked on, he was just more and more superior. I thought Tyson actually boxed really well second time. Look, Olkesandr Usyk is a phenomenon. I agree with Spencer that Daniel Dubois is a much, much better mentally and physically athlete, fighter, person, maturity than he was a couple of years ago. He's on a fantastic run. Those wins, that gutting out win over Jarrell Miller to stop him. Hrgovic, again, taking the licks in the first 3 rounds. And Joshua, of course, absolutely phenomenal.
But this is a whole different animal.
This is a whole different animal. And look, he has to, as Duke said, he has to just keep the pace at him. He's got to work the body. He's got to take risks. Yes, he's got power. He's a phenomenal fighter, Daniel Dubois. However, Usyk's so clever. He's so good in rematches. He's so good on his feet. He's going to have to hope that he's on the decline, and I haven't seen it.
The perpetual back and forth praise of both fighters has been major league attention, even from the leaders in the sport. Tyson Fury, current WBC heavyweight champion, recently teased he's paying close attention. Though he made no announcement, the suggestion was there. He's shopping for future opponents. Fury's interest lends more weight to the contest, as its decision could affect the heavyweight pecking order. The winner of this fight may indeed be in contention for something much larger in the coming months.
I don't know. Dubois is very young, ambitious, big, strong man, and Usyk's very experienced. But again, he's coming off for two fights for me, which is debatable whether he won them or not, which he didn't win them, but he got the decision, which is all that matters. He's 38 years old. You know, if I was going to come back, I'd come back for Usyk. But I want a fair result in England.
Would he be the only fighter that you'd come back for?
That would be the one I want immediately. That would be the most fight that I'd want next.
Another subplot generating buzz is the ongoing controversy surrounding their initial encounter, the notoriety that engulfed it in a low blow. The stoppage remains contentious, and both combatants have since gone back to trading arguments about it. Dubois argues that the punch was within the rules and is unfairly deprived of a stoppage win, whereas Usyk believes it was under the belt. The controversy has further charged up the build-up to the rematch. It's no longer a matter of belts or rankings, it's about settling scores. The stoppage still looms over the build-up like a thundercloud ready to burst.
You still try to tell us that 2 years ago in Poland, you beat Olkesandr Usyk?
It was about that, you know, it was, in my opinion, that was a proper body shot. I mean, you know, I could go over it, but it was a body shot that landed, and now I have a chance to clear up the controversy, you know, just wipe the slate clean. You know, I've come back, you guys have seen I've come back a new man, a different man, a new fighter, and I'm just excited to show that I'm on the rise.
Olkesandr, do you still insist it was a low blow? You had 4 minutes to recover.
Listen, first fight it was in the past. Now I live in now, present. I show you one picture. If maybe it's not clean, was clean punch. Just a moment, please.
Alexander is looking for a picture in his phone. Simon Jordan is looking over Alexander Usyk's shoulder, looking for that same picture.
How do you think?
Well, you're going to tell us that this was not a low blow.
That wasn't the same punch.
All right, that's a punch, isn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't the same punch.
It's one punch. One is.
Supporting Dubois' position, Frank Warren has come out in his fighter's defense of the event. Warren is convinced that the call was wrong and that Dubois was unfairly denied what might have been a career-making victory. His words helped to mobilize fans and perhaps put some extra pressure on the officials in advance of the rematch. For Warren, this is more than a business decision. It's about clearing the record, and now that opportunity is in Dubois' hands and only his.
He got hurt. There you go. You see that?
It's just on the belt line, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not about the belt. It's about the navel, and the navel's down there. His navel is there, not on the belt line. The rules say the navel, and he's caught in there. These are not my photos. These are from the Sun library, and this is the sequence of punches. It's in there as well. It's the same angle.
Is it?
Yeah, but you look, see where it's landed. He's a hurtful puncher. He's one of those guys. If he hits you on the arms, you feel that power, and it's sort of in your mind. You think, oh, geez, I don't want that on my chin.
Global home of boxing.
Queensbury, exclusively on design.
But others like Paulie Malignaggi joined the overall praise for Olkesandr Usyk, highlighting his faultless fundamentals. Former world champion analyst Paulie Malignaggi complimented Usyk's textbook technique, ring positioning, and ring smarts as some of the finest in the sport today. Malignaggi emphasized that Usyk doesn't employ flash. Instead, he breaks down his opponents with unadulterated skill, excellent timing, and intelligent movement. In Paulie's view, it is Usyk's mastery of fundamentals that renders him so effective against even the most unstable heavyweights.
Olkesandr Usyk's career so far, it's been meteoric rise, hasn't it? Yeah, I think he's one of the best fighters in the world, probably on the pound-for-pound list. You know, it's funny because he and Lomachenko have a similar dynamic in this. They're more of these modern of Eastern Europeans. They have the great fundamentals that Eastern Europeans always bring, but they also have this fluidity to them. They're almost like a new age, evolved Eastern European fighter, so you don't get worse, they only get better.
Teddy Atlas later on placed his wagers on the bout and changed his stance, stating that this fight could be considerably different from the first one. The veteran trainer and commentator opined that Usyk is clearly better in all aspects, sharper, stronger, and more assured. Of course, Atlas mentioned that Dubois can quite possibly enter the fight well prepared with all this publicity, but perhaps not the actual difference maker. Usyk's development as a fighter, he labeled Usyk as not just better, but smarter, faster, and more complete, implying this iteration of Usyk may be levels above what we witnessed in their initial showdown.
Dubois has found himself. He's a different fighter. He's a different animal now. Anyone who thinks that it's the same fight, they're wrong. I can't go against Usyk. I can't. Because the guy, his greatest strength is he always finds a way to win. Always. The amateurs, Olympic gold, cruiserweights, unified heavyweights, goes to London, fights a bigger guy, fights him twice, beats him. Then he goes and fights a bigger guy again, fights him twice, Fury, beats him. I mean, the guy knows how to find a way to win. He's special, but he's getting older. I would have preferred, like I said, I have nothing but admiration for both. I have some maybe extra love towards Usyk.
Chris Eubank Jr. has recently commented on the impending rematch between Olkesandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois, recognizing that each fighter is now enjoying strong momentum within their own careers. He insisted that this fight won't be merely a matter of physical ability or technique. It will be a matter of psychological toughness. Eubank Jr. feels that determination, mental toughness, and the power to persevere through hardships will ultimately determine the result. In his opinion, whoever whoever is able to keep their head clear while under pressure and assert themselves in the decisive moments will emerge victorious from this high-stakes battle.
I think Daniel Dubois, he's on a roll. He's coming off of a massive win against AJ. Usyk's also on a massive roll, so I think that fight's going to come down to mindset.
Last but not least, Anthony Joshua had a response to the Usyk versus Dubois fight. Although he conceded it's a hard one to call, his admiration of Usyk seemed to suggest where his money's on. Joshua pointed out Usyk's ability, heart, and established record, implying that he has a great deal of respect for the champion's talent. Although he left his forecast hanging, Joshua's remarks had fans believing that he's favoring Usyk in this thrilling rematch.
On Daniel Dubois against Olkesandr Usyk, realistically, has he got any chance? We've got 30 seconds.
Of course he has. Look, it's a tough ask, of course. The thing with Usyk is he doesn't depend on his power to knock you out. He depends on his skill. That's why it's a tough ask, because he's going to box rings around you if you let him. Dubois, good luck. Don Charles, good luck. Great British boxing, good luck. We potentially might have a heavyweight championship back on our soil.
Let us know what you're thinking. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so that you never miss another in-depth breakdown like this. We've got more heat on the way. Keep it locked up, fight fans.